CBS and the SBA will fight to the end and lead the way, yeah. Sing out together. Sky Blue, these are Sky Blue days. These are Sky Blue days. When the CBS and the SBA will fight to the end and lead the way, yeah. Sing out together. Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.
Good evening to you. Welcome to Sky Blue Fans TV on a non-football weekend, should we say. Very boring, international. England got beat, obviously, the other night. And we've had no football to entertain us after that epic game at Wolves, which seems ages ago now. But anyway, we've got a few guests to chat to. We've got a competition. We're going to talk England. We're going to talk the semi-final draw, well, the date, which has now been confirmed. Talk a bit about Hadji's goals as well for USA. And we're going to talk to the Northern supporters group. Lee's come on tonight, very kindly come on. He's donated 2 tickets as well to the Noel Whelan event at the Sky Blue Tavern next month. And he can tell us all about that as well. So, okay, let's get the guests in. Claudio's here, as normal. Headphones on. No hats, just headphones.
No, just the hair. It looks like a hat. It's not. It's real hair. It's my school look.
You okay?
Yeah, not too bad. A bit weird, isn't it, with no football, international
It
and all that?
Very boring, yeah. Just my idea.
I watched the England game yesterday. Yeah, no football last night either then.
No. I suppose the people who don't like the football are loving it, but no, most of us are not enjoying it at all. Chris Baker, regular. How are you, Chris?
Oh, good, thank you. You're right, lads.
You've had a boring weekend as well. No football.
Yeah, not a lot to do really. Just pottering around the house really. I had to watch that load of rubbish last night to try and get my fix, and just left me shouting Southgate out at the TV.
Yeah, we all get very frustrated with England as well, and we'll talk a bit about that as the show goes on, because I know Lee follows England here, there and everywhere with his City flag. Let's bring him in. Lee, from the Northern supporters group. How are you, mate?
Evening. Thank you for having me. How are we doing?
Not too bad, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Now, you don't live up north now, do you? You moved back down here.
Yeah, so representing the Northern Sky Blues, but I've been living up north for 20 years, and then just before Christmas, I'm back in Bedworth. So,
good old Bedworth.
Yeah, still representing. My partner's still up in York, so I'm up there on a regular basis, but I've got a foot in both camps now.
Well, okay. Well, tell us a bit about yourself, because you lived in Yorkshire, for 22 years, didn't you?
Yeah, so I moved up to Leeds when I was 20, went up to university there. I kept popping back, but for the last 7 years, I've been running a business in York. So I've been more with Coventry City. It's been more away games than home games over the last 7 or 8, 20 years really. But yeah, last season got me back, and part of the reason for moving back was just the exciting times we've got at Coventry, and I didn't want to limit it to away games only, and come and experience everything that's going on the CBS now, which I wasn't getting to do as much.
And you've also been to 91 of the 92 league grounds. That's some feat.
Yeah, so I'll be missing Huddersfield this week, unfortunately, which is a Northern game as well. I'm at Wycombe versus Portsmouth, which is number 92. That's all the league grounds ticked off, and then I can give all my efforts to Coventry City in England after that.
It's fantastic. Now, does that include the new grounds, like Tottenham's new ground, Man City?
Yeah. So once teams get relegated or once teams move ground, you lose them. So that is 91 of the current 92 league grounds. Yeah.
Right, I see. See, I've been to a lot of them, obviously, but I haven't been to a lot of the new ones, like Tottenham's new ground. Been to Arsenal, but I haven't been to Man City's new ground either.
We can go there next season.
That's what I'm about to say. Yeah, hopefully we'll get to go there next season. So, but yeah, now you also follow England, don't you? So, what did you make of the England performance?
I very luckily was working last night. So, look, I'm not the biggest fan of home games. As I was saying about Coventry up last year, I'm much for an away day. Follow England at tournaments. I'm a travelling club member, but I let people enjoy the experience at Wembley. I was working last night, so I was only privy to the highlights, which I'm quite happy about because, you know, friendly games, look, it should be a big spectacle watching England v Brazil, but in reality, it's probably just a public training session.
Yeah, I sat there and watched it, and there's a lot of missed chances and stuff. And okay, he's got to try new players out, isn't he? Stuff like that. But you know, I don't know. It's just then he changed it around again, didn't he?
We've got the majority of players playing last night are pretty solid in the team. You know, there's only a couple of positions there up for grabs. Obviously, Miss Kane quite significantly. I'm not sure if Watkins is the answer if Kane's injured. I'm looking forward to seeing Tony on Tuesday night, maybe.
Yeah, possibility. Yeah, I mean that's a big miss when Kane's not playing. We all seem to struggle, don't we?
But I think players are scared of getting injured. Players aren't giving it everything. I think it'll be a very different story come Germany and the Euros in June.
Yeah. Chris, what did you think of the England performance last night? I know you watched it, didn't you?
I can only tell you the bits I was awake for. I thought it was awful. Southgate's too pragmatic for me to be England manager. Everyone will go on about, he's our most successful manager since Alf Ramsey. He's got us to a final and a semi-final. But my response to that is one of those tournaments we actually would have won had it not been for his tactics. You go 1-0 up 2 minutes and then try and sit back and then have another shot on goal. Yeah, you get what you deserve, don't you? Can we just turn Claudio's camera off for a second?
Claudio, the Italian. He's got his proud Italian flag behind him.
Yeah. But no, so that's the way. I mean, maybe I look at that a bit harshly. Then the World Cup, they're a very favourable draw as well. So it wasn't all great work by Southgate. There was a lot of luck, which you could argue sometimes you need luck to win these tournaments anyway. But no, he's too pragmatic for me, and I've wanted a change of manager now since before Qatar.
Who would you bring in though, Chris? Who would you bring in? Because that's a big question, isn't it?
God, I honestly think they could manage themselves better. I've been too harsh. If we're going English, I'd give someone like Eddie Howe a crack because he plays attacking football with Newcastle, and last season did it very, very well. And with the attacking talent we have, we should be attacking games, not playing 2 or at times last night 3 defensive midfielders. It's like, what on earth are you playing at? You've got some of the best attacking talent in the world, and that's what you're doing. It's no, that's just a massive no for me. So
I'd be interested if Eddie Howe would leave Newcastle to come to England. He probably would, but it'd be interesting. Claudia, what did you think of the? I know you're watching as an Italian.
With my plate of spaghetti.
What were your thoughts on the?
I mean, England have got 6 of the best attacking players in the world. I mean, I know two were missing last night, Saka and Kane. And my word, did England miss those 2 players, especially Harry Kane. You don't realise how much he brings to the team, the way he comes and gets the ball. But what really stood out was defensively, it was shocking at times. Too many balls were getting pushed through straight down the middle, and they're all at sea. And I just kept thinking, Harry Maguire, I mean, when we play United, please put pressure on him because we have got a really good chance in that semi-final. If they do what Brazil were doing, I just can't believe England got caught out of that. I mean, Brazil were hoiking a long ball, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
It was weird. They didn't really play through England at times. They're just smacking it long and outpacing them. A couple of things as well. The atmosphere's terrible. It was like a schoolboy international. That's what it felt like. I don't know. It was a bit flat, wasn't it? I know it's
it's one of the reasons I avoid going to Wembley. It sounds friendlies and even the qualifiers that we expect to win, it is tough atmosphere there. It's it's not like being in Singer's Corner at the City or at a good away game. It is so hard to get going, and they'll have a band, they'll try and get everyone going, but it's a family day out. It's sit and watch and clap. It's I'm not selling England very well here, but different story for the big qualifiers, different story for the tournaments. But these friendlies.
I mean, I thought the left back, Cole, who's playing left back? Chilwell, sorry. I thought he had a nightmare of a game, and yet the assessment by Southgate was that he had a fantastic match. In fact, they're all fantastic. And I'm thinking, this is the performance was as bad as the shirt, basically.
The way Southgate describes his games when he's in his post-match interviews, a lot of those memes where you get like jokers at work, but they've got like those blackout glasses on, so they're actually asleep while they're supposed to be working.
Yeah,
like I just think he must genuinely some of the rubbish he comes out with. I just think he genuinely must not have been watching the game.
Or is he just defending his players and it's a different story behind it? I hope to think that it's not what he's saying to them to their faces, but there's something to be said for not coming out and slaying people to the media. Because, yes, you're right, Chilwell had a poor game, but he's not going to say that, hopefully. I
agree with not slating them too badly in the press and the media. I mean, look what that happened at United with Sancho, and look what that created. But no, I agree with that. But at the same time, you don't want to be saying comments too much the other way, because it just makes you look like you don't know what you're going on about. You've not been watching. You've got to find a balance in the middle, I think, between undeserved praise and unwanted criticism. So,
I mean, he made Jude Bellingham look like an ordinary player in that midfield. It's weird from being a world beater, and you see him playing for Real Madrid and around Europe. He looks absolutely sensational this season.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's not a great. That Brazil team is the worst Brazil squad they've had since about the early 60s. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact 7 teams can qualify from South America, they may not even qualify for a World Cup. They're 6th in the table at the minute. I was just a bit surprised. I expected more from England, to be honest.
Did the commentator say last night the Brazilian who scored isn't he more famous in Brazil for like podcasts and whatnot than actually playing football?
17-year-old.
Yeah, I just like that says it all, really. But yeah, friendlies to me, they are very, very pointless. I think I would have rather just said, look, let's have a week of normal football, finish the season a bit earlier, and get the lads together a little bit sooner in May, June time to try and give them more preparation for the Euros. And maybe instead of having 2 warm-up games, I think it's 2 that they've got in June. So having 2 warm-up games, maybe they could have 3. I think it would be better served trying to do it. But I understand it's a UEFA FIFA calendar, and it can't just be suited to England, I guess. But
I mean, do you think playing at Wembley is the atmosphere situation? Do you prefer if they go and play at different grounds around the country? Because I liked it when they did that.
When they were building Wembley,
yeah.
Well, they are. One of the 2 in June is at St James's Park.
Yeah, which I think they should do. I mean, these friendlies like this, they should play them at different grounds around the country, because I think the atmosphere will be a lot better and gives everybody an opportunity to.
But Ken, so should FA Cup semi-finals.
No, they should.
Right there. Yeah, you're right there.
And I was fully a full advocate of that until last week.
Yes, me too.
I suppose they've got to pay for Wembley somehow, haven't they? They're still paying for it, I think, can't they? This new building, this new Wembley, they're still paying for it, and it's all down to money, I suppose. At the end of the day, that's what.
Regarding my lot behind me, I mean, I can't say a lot either, because they've not been particularly great the last couple of years either. I don't know whether or not it's just the fact that England playing Brazil. I mean, Italy were playing Venezuela, and we beat them 2-1, but it wasn't great.
Do Italy play at one certain stadium, or do they travel around?
No, they travel. They play around the country, but they've got a really good record in Rome and Milan. Not so great, I think, in Naples, because they're not so partisan there. It's really weird, and they play at stadiums which sometimes only hold 25,000, depending on who they're playing against.
Yeah,
it's England. I mean, England are the best supported international team in terms of home and away.
Yeah.
They really, I mean, the fans do go. It's really impressive, really impressive. I mean, they sell out. I mean, you think some of the games they play at home against minor teams, they still get a full crowd. You don't get that in Italy. If we were to play Moldova, you'd probably get 30,000 turn up at Rome and an 80,000 stadium at Wembley. They'd sell it. They'd fill it.
Yeah.
It is impressive.
Yeah, I just thought, I think friendlies like this, they should play around different grounds. Obviously, sometimes it's difficult availability and stuff like that, but just give everybody a chance to, up and down the country to watch it. And,
I agree. Get it out the capital as well. It's not easy for people getting down to London, especially us Northerners.
Yeah, we're fed up with going down to London, Carl, haven't we? We're fed up, especially Wembley. But
Ratcliffe wants to build the Wembley of the North, doesn't he? Old Trafford.
So. He does, and there's some good enough grounds now to play these games at. There's a lot of modern grounds around. So, you got Manchester City, Newcastle, Liverpool. You got Everton's new ground coming up soon as well, haven't you? So there's plenty of stadiums which are quite decent. Whereas years ago, obviously, a lot of them were old and falling down, if you like, a lot of them. But there's a lot of new ones now. So yeah, share it around, I think. But
makes you wonder if Liverpool would be gutted about that, because they now no longer have the biggest or best stadium in even Merseyside, let alone outside the city.
It looks some stadiums. I've seen some of the photos of this new Everton stadium. I mean, they could be going back that. They could be playing Championship football there. You never know the way it's going for them. But it looks a fantastic stadium, doesn't it? From what I've seen.
It's gone up quick as well, hasn't it, really?
It has gone up.
Yeah, I thought that.
Gone up really quick. Regarding England, then, what are people's views on the shirt? Because I know it was controversial with the.
I was about to say about this.
With the flag on the back. I mean, me personally, I mean, if they wanted to do that silly, whatever they've done with the colours and that, surely just have the St. George and have that around as a border or something. If you want, I don't understand why you want to mess around with. If you want to create nationalists, mess around with someone's flag, basically.
Yeah.
That's all that's going to happen. I mean, they'd never do it to a. I mean, they wouldn't Nike if they, if they were looking after Saudi Arabia or Iran or Iraq, they would never mess around with their flag because they know what would happen.
They haven't put that nonsense on the front shirt, have they? So
no, and it's almost. I feel like it's almost like English FA, a bit of an easy touch when it came to this. And obviously, somebody in the FA signed it off.
Signed the deal. Apparently, the guy that signed it off is now moved over to rugby, the nations, 6 nations. Apparently, he works for them, and he signed it off. He's now left the FA. But I mean, would you buy the shirt, Chris, with this flag on, or would you?
I'm going to be honest. When it comes to England shirts and Cov shirts, I do have a very extensive collection. So I've been very steadfast that I wasn't going to buy either. The away one I just don't like, and the home one I love. I think it's such a lovely top, but I was really angry about the thing on the back.
Yeah.
But when push comes to shove, I probably will still buy them, and probably buy them before the Euros because I know what I'm like.
£75, isn't it, or £80, something like that?
85 for the stadium shirt, which is the one that I'll buy. What I don't like about it is if you do feel a certain way about it, and if you are opposed to it, the woke will automatically come out and label you, against them. You're homophobic, and in case like they could literally put. I would say there's an argument for not having the rainbow flag colours or the inclusivity colours on a shirt. Because it is a political statement. Even the LGBTQ community recognise those colours as a political statement.
Yeah.
And I'm not against it. I just think all political statements in every aspect, through everything that's not just pride or rainbow colours, should be kept out of football. That's just my personal opinion on it.
Yeah.
But, just because you feel a certain way about it doesn't mean you're homophobic. I've got some friends, some very good friends who are part of that community, and I would never want to do anything to disrespect them. And they don't think my views are disrespectful. I'm all for equality and diversity, just not when it's going too far and not when it's being essentially forced upon us.
Yeah.
But the flag is to represent the tracksuit that the players wore in 1966.
Can we all? What was that? Because I can't remember what it looked like.
So I think that was a bit of a PR disaster in itself. I mean, I imagine they've sat around and thought, what excuse can we give for this flag? Which, by the way, there's no reason for the colours. Whether you talk about equality and LGBT, there's nothing in that flag to suggest that's what it is. There's no real reason for the Blues. For the FA to come out with this excuse was a little bit daft, I think, because I don't think anyone believes it for a second. But it's yes. I certainly won't. Don't need any excuses not to spend. You say £85. It's £120 if you want the one the players actually wear.
And what's the difference between them two then?
So one's referred to as a stadium shirt, one's the player's shirt. So I imagine there's a bit of
technology
in the release.
Holes and air holes and
it costs them that much.
I think Nike. I quite like the shirt, to be honest, minus the flag on the back. But I'm never a fan of Nike's kit designs. I think we're really lucky at Coventry with Hummel, who put such great effort into kit designs and so much thought into kit designs, whereas all these people that have to go and pay £85 for Nike, who normally simply stick the club badge, a Nike badge, and the sponsor on, and the colour of the club, and sell them for about £85. I think we're very lucky with Hummel.
Yeah, definitely, I agree there. Nike, for me, are more template kits, aren't they? They're just shove them out there. They're very plain, very basic.
Whatever happens going forward with our kits, if for whatever reason, first of all, I absolutely love the Hummel kits. They're probably the best I've seen from the club in my lifetime. So I don't say that lightly. I've been a fan since the early Premier League years. But so I absolutely love the Hummel kits. But if for whatever reason we had to change supplier, I hope to God that we never have the misfortune of being with Nike again.
Yeah, we did have Nike, didn't we, a few years ago? Yeah.
And being honest, like, look, I'm a big lad. You can probably tell by the video. So when they're only doing kits up to XXL, it's a bit of a pain. It's just not great. And I just didn't like them. It just put me off Nike.
Yeah. Entirely.
So I mean, some of the kits were okay that they released. They weren't all bad, but they never marketed it to like big chaps like myself. I'm sure I'm not the one who had issues with it. So
yeah, exactly. I agree as well, because I'm a big chap as well. No, you certainly can't get into a normal extra large. You need a double extra. Now, I suppose you've got quite a few kits, haven't you, Lee? Do you collect the kits?
I'm not a big one for getting kits. I certainly won't be first in the queue when a new kit comes out. For me, with England kits, I've got all the retro kits. I'm wearing the 1990 kits, the 96 kit. I don't get the modern ones. I'm pretty tight, really. And I'm not a fan of the latest kit. And they only last 2 years, or in some cases 1 year.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a retro shirt, or I'm at the size now. My size hasn't changed too long, so a training top will do me. Last for about 10 years that way.
Yeah, well, a nice polo shirt would do you fine, wouldn't it?
Exactly. More than Sky Blue's one.
Do you chaps remember literally when it used to be? You only used to have home and away. There was no third shirts.
Yeah.
The kits would last for 2 years, and the years would be alternated when they released. Like 1 year, the home would be released, then the next it'd be the away, then it'd be the home again. So it was literally one top a year you had to pay, which was usually about £35-40 for an adult at the time. And you're looking at what? I mean, even for our kits, what, £55 a time? And there's not a sale on. You're going up the leagues, as you say, to Nike, we're looking at 85 or 125 if you want the one with all the fancy technology, which it's sweat in a certain way. But, it's it's getting too much with ticket prices and everything else going up as well. Then your subscriptions, like where you watch it on TV, going up. It's like soon the average fan is not going to be able to afford. They're going to have to literally choose between at their club or watching on the TV. You know, it's.
I mean, you took. I mean, a football club's constantly got their hands in your pockets, full stop. Anyway, I'm lucky. I'm a single guy. I haven't got 2 or 3 kids banging down my door asking for the latest kits either, because I see, or I know all my mates have all got kids. They all want the kits, and we know that it's not coming cheaply. So
yeah.
I often joke that the club could genuinely buy loads of toilet roll, put the badge on them, and sell them for 10 quid a roll, and they probably would still sell.
Well, I've said that about other stuff. You could put just like you could have a turd and put Cov City on it, and people would buy it. It's just that's
Yeah.
I'm going to read some comments out now.
Yeah, I've got a load of comments coming through. I was about to say to you, John.
All right, so JJ Cov 18. I'm going to training tomorrow at 9:30 till 12:30. That's for the kids, isn't it? I believe.
Yes, I believe so. They've got an open day for the JSBs at the stadium.
So Cov Andy, Lee Beckett, and Paul Hughes have all said good evening, and Paul says I'll see you on Friday, Ken. That sounds like a threat.
He's going to meet me at Huddersfield. He's going to see me at Huddersfield.
That does sound like I'll see you Friday, Ken. Do you owe him some money, do you? Cov Andy just got back from Cov after seeing family and friends. Where's Sky Blue? I hope we're going to talk about the stupid flag. Oh, we have on the back of the England tops. Janet, there's an even all. Yeah, an even all from Janet. I've also got going down here. This must be from Jan. Cov City FC Germany. Go on, Lee. Yeah.
How are you doing, Jan? Hope he's watching over in Germany. So they've just set up the Germany Coventry City Supporters Club. Obviously, a few people will have saw Jan at a few games. He's actually undefeated. He's been over for, I think, 5 games now, never lost. Just set up the Germany Supporters Club. He's due over for the QPR game as well, which is a good omen if we need to win that to get into the playoffs.
Can we not get into the semi-final?
Yeah.
He said he was going to, but then I think it was on the back of quite a few beers and he retracted that. I'm still trying to persuade him.
My wife is fluent in German. That's what she teaches. So, but she's half Austrian. We live and die in these towns. Don't know what's worse last night, the performance or the atmosphere at Wembley. Both drab as hell.
Yeah.
An evening all from Nation Radio.
Evening, Tony.
Evening, Lee, mate.
Here he is, Tony. Used to referee me, did Tone. Yeah, and then I bumped into him at Players' Night at the Tavern last week.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you about Tony, because I used to referee as well, and he was my mentor when I started refereeing, Tony. So we go back a long way, me and Tony, with refereeing.
Paul Hughes, totally agree with the assessment by Chris of England. Craig Robinson from Sky Blue Fans Forum, a very good forum if you want to join it. There's no, I think he likes to put it, no idiots are allowed on, basically. Even everyone a good night for Hadji the other night, not so good for Latti and KP.
Yes, we'll talk about that.
We'll come back to that in a second, yeah. Simon Miller, Chilwell rubbish, Bellingham will stand out, Stones good, Foden missing in action. Dave Saunders, I did not watch the game. Was it really that bad?
Yes.
Well, I think
I loved it.
But as a neutral, it was end to end. It's just that the performances weren't so great. It's Paul Hughes, wish I'd known about the Northern Group, as I lived in Harrogate for 25 years. Gareth Southgate lives in Harrogate. He obviously gets paid too much. Also, Gary McAllister as well.
Well, you can still join, Paul. Yeah, I mean, I've got you. You did actually. He still lives up north. Yeah, Paul does. So yeah, I'm sure we'll get the details off Lee. You can join up.
Lee Beckett needed an early change to bring Maddison, Tony, and Bowen. Got Graham Cockrell. I heard some news today about the Foxes that they have to sell players whether they go up or not, and a transfer embargo. They've definitely got a transfer embargo, haven't they?
Yes.
I'm crying for them on the inside.
I know. It's just fantastic, isn't it? In Plymlott, if you want trouble over the flag, change the colours in the Stars and Stripes national flag. Colours should not be messed with. There's just no need for it. I think it's unnecessary, and I don't know what they're trying to actually prove by doing it, to be honest. Neil Jacks do actually like the New England top, but we're boycotting it due to Cross of St. George plus the price. Don't like the trend of players ripping their socks, looks untidy. My wife said to me, he says, why have they got holes in the back of their socks? And I said, apparently it's to relieve pressure on their calves. Yet years ago, they're all wearing skins, weren't they? Because apparently that helped the blood flow.
Yeah.
And now they're ripping holes. Weird. Paul Hughes, City Admiral kit was the best ever. We had it for 8 or 9 years. Loved the red and brown away kits. David H. Maguire's withdrawn from the squad. Should have a better chance of a win midweek. In Plymouth, Chris, I would wipe myself on a Villa toilet roll. And Craig Robinson, so your thoughts on people complaining about the FA Cup semi-final being on the Sunday, same day as the London Marathon?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in the second half of the show, about the semi-final confirmed dates and all that. So that's all coming up. Is that about all?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay, we're going to have a short break in a minute. Then Lee's going to come back and tell us about this special event with Noel Whelan we've got lined up at the Sky Blue Tavern next month. Be a fantastic evening. And we've got a competition. Yes, you can win 2 tickets for that event. We get Lee to read out the question for you after the break. And you find yourself winning 2 tickets for that event next month. And he's going to tell us all about it. So we're going to have a short break now with some adverts, and then we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.
Okay, welcome back to Sky Blue Fans TV. We've got Claudio, we've got Chris Baker, and we've got Lee Cowell from the Northern Supporters Group with us tonight. Now, we've got a special event going on next month involving Noel Whelan at the Sky Blue Tavern, and Lee is going to tell us all about it now. I'm going to put the poster up. There it is. That's it. Friday the 5th of April, 2024. Tell us about it then, Lee. Go on.
There it is. So, the Northern Sky Blues started about 4 years ago now. During when COVID first started, I used to run mobile bars and book Noel Whelan to appear in York. Now, COVID lasted a bit longer than we thought it was going to, and I still had a little deposit waiting for him. So finally, we've got round to getting Noel. Instead of having it in the north, because so many Northern are coming down now for games, we thought the Leeds game would be a perfect tie-in. So it's going to be at the Sky Blue Tavern, Friday the 5th of April. Noel Whelan will be appearing, question and answers, chance to get a photo with him, a few autographs, and we are doing it for charity. Some of the money will go to the Northern Sky Blues for our sort of fees that we pay each year, but then we are going to be raising money for Jamie's Legacy, who in turn support Efavid Uganda. So Jamie was a Coventry fan, had a YouTube channel, who unfortunately passed away when he was 16. His parents set up a charity. They support Sefavid Uganda, who a lot of people may remember from, I think it was when we went up from League One, gave some shout-outs to Coventry City on the forums, became really popular. They're well supported amongst Coventry City fans. Ronald and his team over there all run around in Coventry City kits, got a football team going in there, the slums in Kampala, which are officially known as Little Coventry. So we're going to be raising money for them. So yeah, £10 a ticket. There's a comedian on after Noel as well, so the night of it. And I've still got about 50 tickets left. So
and where can we get these tickets from?
So Eventbrite, if anyone looks on Eventbrite, just put in the search bar Noel Whelan, it'll come up, and £10 a ticket, and then plus a little booking fee for Eventbrite, I think.
Yeah, fantastic. That should be a great night, because I mean, my memory of Noel Whelan with some of the fantastic goals he scored for us, and I know he's a bit of a naughty boy off the pitch sometimes, and I'm sure he'll say a few of these things on the night, won't he? He'll probably go into a few of them. The famous one was was it a shop window in Leamington?
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly, was this Claudio? Did you have no confirmation of it?
There'll be confirmation on Friday, the 5th of April. I'm hoping.
He went into training with knackered ligaments, didn't he? Basically, and it was an incident in Leamington, and that's when I think Gordon took him under his wing, basically. Yeah,
which is another thing I'm hoping to find out a bit about. When I believe he may have moved in with Gordon Strachan for a little while.
Yeah, I believe he took him under his wing, didn't he? Yeah, as you said, and he looked after him, if you like. But what a fantastic player he was for us, wasn't he?
I have got a little story where he broke the curfew. Am I allowed to say it, or would he mention it on the night? I don't know.
Well, we may as well give a little teaser.
Well, basically, he was staying with Gordon. He was under a curfew. He wasn't allowed out after a certain time. And I think after a few weeks, he asked permission from Gordon Strachan if he could go to the cinema. Go out, I think. He snuck out. Anyway, he went to the cinema. But Gordon thought, I can't have this. I've got to make sure he's gone to the cinema. So he goes to the cinema with his wife. And down the bottom, you can see Noel with what looked like Magnus Hedman's girlfriend. And he thought, what is he doing? What an absolute idiot. And then he realised that Magnus had got his girlfriend got a twin sister. Apparently. And it was, not his...
Yeah.
So
but I suppose if supporters seen that, they could put like two together.
I'll tell you what, I bet these players are glad they played their football back in the day when there was no cameras and phones, camera phones and all that.
Facebook and all this,
Because somebody like Noel would have been on social media every 5 minutes at one stage. And not just him, there was quite a few of them. There's a good old clique in Leamington where they all used to go out. And he never let us down on the pitch, did he? I thought
100%.
Him and Huckabee and Dion, all that mid-90s team was absolutely brilliant. I thought, for us, especially going forward. And some of the goals he scored were sensational. They were sensational, and we got him for a steal because we got him when he was breaking through the lead into the Leeds team, and when we signed him, that was a really good signing. A really good signing. A bit like when we got Huckabee off Newcastle. These are excellent signings. And I mean, they served us well, didn't they? He's a top lad. Noel Whelan.
They did. What's your memories of him, Chris?
Noel Whelan, he was actually quite a prominent player when I first started going regularly. I was attending my first game in 96-97 season, a 1-1 draw with Southampton, which I think he was actually out injured with that leg injury at the time. I think it was during that period when it happened. So I didn't get the pleasure of seeing him play really towards like Christmas time that year. But he always gave it 110%. Like he never let the club down in that regards. There was never, when things were bad, the head was never down. We could be 5-0 down as we were on a few occasions, and he'd still be giving it everything. So he was one of my favourite players as a child. I I remember as well, like just when you get like really early memories as an early kid, he'd only just signed for us, and my mum and dad had dragged me along to shopping at Fowes Park in Leicester, and we bumped into him. And that's one of my earliest memories as a young Sky Blue fan. He had all the time in the world to like chat to me, who was just like a young kid at the time, and obviously it weren't a picture then because obviously you're not carrying cameras around with you, are you? But he signed something for us and like, sat talking to us about Coventry, and I just thought, what a great person, you know. I was awestruck, a famous person taking the time to talk. Yeah, talk, just amazing.
He was a fantastic player for us. I suppose, Lee, you spoke to him already a few times, haven't you?
Yeah. I've spoken to him, not in any great depth, but you know, confirming everything and asking what he's happy to be asked and what he's not happy to be asked.
Yeah, because he works for the BBC down here up in Leeds, doesn't he?
He works for BBC Radio Leeds, yeah. So I'm not sure if he's got any work on that weekend, but he's. I think we'll probably see him about. He claims he's in demand. Obviously, Coventry and Leeds, two of his former clubs. But yes, he is doing. He does a show for Radio Leeds, a phone-in.
Yeah. I can't wait. It's going to be great. Now we've got two tickets for our viewers that they can win for this event. Which Lee's kindly donated. And we've got a question for you to answer. So all you have to do is put your answer, send your message in with your answer on. All correct answers will go in a hat, and then we'll draw at the end of the day and then the night for a winner to win 2 pairs of tickets. So, Lee, we've got a question about Noel Whelen. And what is it?
We have. I hope I've got the facts right on this one.
I think we've all checked it out. I think you're correct.
Yeah, I'm right. Well, I've watched it as well. So yes. So Noel Whelan, I think it was 1995, made his debut. A 4-1 defeat away at Aston Villa. He then made his home debut the week after. We won that game 2-1. He scored, but who was it against?
Okay, so who did he score against on his home debut? Basically. Okay, get your answers in on the messages, please, and be loads coming in, I'm sure. And all the correct answers will go into the hat, and we'll draw it at the end of the programme tonight. You can win yourself 2 tickets for this event. There it is, Friday the 5th of April. Make sure you'll be able to go on that night, 7 o'clock, and it's got a comedian on as well, so it should be a good night. It should be fantastic, and hopefully we'll be there as well. So it'll be good. Looking forward to it. Okay, Lee, tell us about the supporters club up. How long it's been running then up in?
So yeah, I think.
And you're trying to get affiliated, aren't you, as well?
Yeah, it was about 2020 that we started. It's a family, the Williams family, who live in Morecambe, up in the north, the northwest. They got together, and it started off just the family and a few close friends. You know, they had a few Coventry fans up there, then they started the Facebook group. Got a few more in there. When I joined, there was only about 30 or 40, I think, in the Facebook group. And that quickly, we've got a little WhatsApp group. We chat about the games as they're going on. But now, the Facebook group's up to about 450 now. Now it's a bit more difficult with the Northern Sky Blues. There's some great supporters clubs down this way, Nuneaton and Bedworth. I know Leamington, Saltham. We've got brilliant, and it's easy. They can all get together and have coaches to games. Now the Northern Sky Blues is a bit more difficult because it's quite a big area. But what we've found is working is people in York, Leeds, Morecambe, Manchester, Newcastle are all sort of getting together, sharing. I've shared lifts with a couple of people from Yorkshire to games now, and met up at away games. Away games, obviously, the Northern away games are the best ways we get to meet. But yeah, we've sponsored players for the last 3 seasons. A couple of the shirts, because it is. Noel Whelan night is actually going to be our first official meetup of the Northern Sky Blues. So we've got all the things we've been donated over the last 3 years, or we've got through our player sponsorships, are all going to be raffled off on the night and helping for Jamie's legacy.
That'd be fantastic. And are you hoping, obviously, to? I mean, is there anybody? How if somebody wanted to join the Northern They just got to contact you? Because
so at the moment it is just a Facebook group. So just search Northern Sky Blues on Facebook, or you can drop me a message, Lee Cowell. But at the minute, there's no fee. When this will be our first season where we affiliate as an official supporters club. How we go forward with that, I'm not quite sure, but at the moment it's a Facebook group. Anyone who lives up north, I know Paul was just mentioning, I don't know if he still lives in Harrogate, but if he isn't in there, just join the group, Paul. And hopefully...
He's up north. I think he's more sort of Lancashire way now. I think
Cheshire.
Cheshire.
Yeah, there's a lot of members over that way. It's all very, we're dispersed all over the north, the Northern Sky Blues. Like I say, I was York, and a lot of the guys are Morecambe. Ellis comes over from the Isle of Man. I don't know if you see a lot of him on the forum. So it's great, and just meeting up, and COD fans are popping up everywhere now, and we're more proud to get the badge out, and we're finding, you're walking around the northern parts and seeing Coventry fans. It's great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, the more supporters clubs we get, the better. I think the club. Do you think the club recently? I know Dave Boddy went out of his way to try and, since obviously Susu had moved on, Doug King's come in. Do you think they've got closer to the fans now than they were?
So the club were making it really difficult. It was not hard. I know the guys who set up the Northern Sky Blues were finding it really hard to get in touch with the club. They asked time and time again, can we affiliate? Can we be an official supporters club? And they were finding it really difficult. Recently, Dave Boddy was making great strides. Jody Jones, who's the club liaison officer now, they're so accessible and they're so open. And you see the nights they're having at the Sky Blue Tavern and the supporters club, they send a couple of players once a month. And there's just so much more communication that we never, ever had with Sisu. Sisu were a closed book, whereas now, players, the board, the manager, even, they're all accessible to us, the fans. And it's just a great time to be a Coventry fan. And that's helped no end, without a doubt.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, just remind us of the question again for the competition, because there's people.
So, Noel Whelan made his home debut and scored in it against which club?
Yeah, simple as that. Get your messages in, and at the end of the show, we will do a draw, and you can win 2 tickets for the Noel Whelan night next month. It'll be a fantastic night. I've got comedian and everything, so that'll be a great night. Okay, right. Let's move on to Haji Wright. I just want to talk a bit about Haji Wright and USA. He's got. I mean, hopefully he's come back, or he will come back, not injured, because that's the last thing we want, isn't it? Him going and getting an injury. But he seemed to scored. He got scored another couple of goals, didn't he, against Jamaica, against our old pals Palmer and Latibert. And he seems to be on form, doesn't he? Claudia, what do you think? Were you impressed with Haji Wright's goals?
Yeah, I watched a bit of the game, actually. He put Latty on his backside, didn't he, for that one of the goals?
Yeah.
And, of course, Palmer missed that open goal, even though it was offside. But, no, I mean, they're raving about him in America. In the US, they're saying how much he's improved since he's come to Coventry, which is a good sign. And it can only get him confidence higher and higher. That's what we want as a club.
Yeah.
And it's definitely improved massively from the start of the season.
Yeah, definitely. He's a bit sort of raw when he started the season.
Yeah, I know he does well coming off the left and all that, but I still like to see him play down the middle. But it ain't going to happen now because Ellis Sims has got his act into gear, hasn't he?
Yeah.
What was interesting with that game at Molyneux was watching them, because we were only about 8 rows from the front, weren't we, down at the side there? And you can actually see the physicality of them both when they're challenging. Where at the CBS, I'm sitting way, way further back. You probably don't appreciate how much handling they're getting off the defenders and all the rest of it. But when you see it close up, you actually see they are trying to fend these defenders off, and trying to get physical. But sometimes you just don't get the decisions. I mean, they didn't get many on against Wolves, to be honest. But no, he's looking better and better, isn't it? So it can only be good for us. Yeah,
definitely. I was quite impressed with the goals he took. Chris, what did you think of Haji's goals? I thought he took them really well.
Admittedly, not had a chance to see him back yet. But I've been impressed with both him and Sims and how they've improved. I mean, before You get the start of this season. The start of this season, the way it did begin from both. I mean, there were calls for maybe to cut our losses on Hadji Wright in January.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and
there was a lot of fans not happy with him, weren't there?
Yeah. I just, you know, I always call for patience in these type of scenarios. I think Vic is a proof that things may not always start when you've just got to sort of bear with it. I mean, Vic was only on loan with us from Brighton, and he'd had a bad start, and everyone was like, when we signed him permanently in that summer, we were a lot of fans, myself included, like, what on earth's Robin's done? And then look at the play that we ended up getting. You know, it's, you know, sometimes you've just got to, you know, give the players a chance, you know, and chance isn't, if they haven't scored a goal within 10 games and they must be awful. You know, it's going to take time.
I used to think when he scored, he didn't really celebrate much because he wasn't happy. But actually, when he scored for USA, it's just the way he is. He's just a bit of a cool dude, isn't he?
Same, yeah, exactly.
I mean, he showed great emotion for the winner at Wolves, but the goals for the US, he's just a bit of a cool dude, isn't he? He's just like, I've scored a goal, yeah, it's my job kind of thing.
Yeah. I think Wright's the right. Sims is the same as well.
Sims is very similar. He doesn't celebrate.
Everyone took his body language for not caring, or, you know, and I just don't think that's the case. I think when you see at the end, like a couple of times now, when Milan's doing his whole hands thing at the end of the game, they've tried to get Ellis Sims to join in on the two that he scored his hat.
They have to push him, haven't they? Sometimes.
Yeah, and he won't. He goes up and applauds the fans, but he won't go and do that. And I just think he might be a bit shy about it, to be honest.
He might be, yeah. Different players, different. Lee, I mean, what do you think of Hadji Wright?
Well, look, I mean, just an international game with 3 Coventry players on the pitch was just brilliant to see for a start.
Don't see that very often. No.
Exactly. Look, Jamaica aren't the best side in the world, are they? But for a long time, USA, people have considered that, you know, I don't think they're getting better. I don't think they're going forward, but they're a good side. They've got some brilliant players in the team. And for Hadji Wright to come on and score 2 goals, it shows what a great player we've got. He's doing that at international level. Yes, look, him and Sims are both very sort of introverted people, if you like, very laid back. You're never going to see them, you know, we were just talking about Noel Whelan, you know, looking like he's passionate all the time. You're not going to get that from them. But yeah, brilliant to see an international game with 3 Coventry players, and hopefully, I think probably Sakamoto would have been banging on the Japan national team as well. So to think that there's 4 internationals we've got, and yeah, well taken goals, brilliant. You know, he came on a sub. I believe he's one of the first US players ever to come on and score multiple goals. I think. Am I right in saying?
Yeah.
Oh, someone's just wrote that. It's just popped up on my screen. I haven't seen that before I said that, but it's...
That's from Ian Plymlott, is the first American to score more than 1 goal from the bench in knockout football.
Well, there you go. There's a question for you for a quiz.
Yeah.
Any more? Let's have a look at some of the messages, shall we, Claudio? We've
got Craig Robinson. Do you guys think our gaffer gave out warnings to Hadji, Latty and KP to not injure each other while playing against each other in their countries? Well, it makes you wonder the way Latty fell on the floor. But I don't think you can you? It's one of those, isn't it? Dave Saunders, against Wolves, Wright and Sims played really well together. It's as if they know where each other are. In Robbins, we trust. Ian Plymlott, Sims is a new player.
That's a mouthful.
I know. Sims looks shy. I think he is, like we said. I just think he's a lad. Having met him at the tavern, Dylan's, wherever it was, we had.
We spoke to him. Yeah,
he is quiet. He's just quiet. He's not. For a big guy, you think there'd be lots of bravado there. There's none at all. I mean, the interviews you see after the game, that's exactly how he is. Yeah, just a quiet lad.
Yeah. Okay, any more questions and any more comments? What's about it?
No, caught up.
Got a lot of answers for the quiz for the competition coming in.
I've written those down.
Yeah, you got your. I'm glad you're on the ball there, Claudia. Okay, let's talk semi-final. Let's talk the date. Which shocked. I was shocked. It's a Sunday. I expected Saturday. There's rumours that the police have said it's going to be played on Sunday for whatever reason. It's a high risk game apparently. which is very bizarre considering we haven't played them for a number of years. Let's have your thoughts on it, Cloudy. What do you think? I mean, did you think Saturday or Sunday? Initially, I was convinced it was going to be Saturday, but either way, I'm not bothered. But Saturday would have been easier.
Yeah, I just thought it was Saturday because of our game on Tuesday. That's all. But
exactly.
That's the only reason. But I don't care. Friday night, I'd have taken a Friday night in the FA Cup semi-final. I'm not bothered when we play it. Really.
No.
All I know is I've got a ticket. It sounds not being selfish. I feel sorry for people who got COF fans, season ticket holders doing the London Marathon, and it must be. There's no way when you put your name in for the London Marathon, you're going to think we're going to get to an FA Cup semi-final. And I do feel sorry for those fans who are doing that, and it's just a shame. And a lot of I saw some comments online where someone's put "run faster."
Try and finish quickly.
yeah. You think it's a bit harsh, isn't it? But I mean the thing about the high risk, I'm not sure where that's come from, and unless it means the whole weekend high risk, not just our game, just evaluating the whole thing.
I found it bizarre because the marathon's on a Sunday, and I thought automatically they'd play the Chelsea game on the Sunday because Chelsea are London based, and therefore they'd only have one away set of fans coming into London, which would be better for them. Now find out Liverpool are playing on the Sunday in London against Fulham. Is that right?
Yeah.
So that's bizarre with Liverpool and Man United both coming down on the Sunday on the same track.
Some using the same train. I mean, somehow they're going to have to, I'd imagine, our trains, they're going to have to put special trains on.
Yeah.
Because, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm glad I'm going on the coach. I've just...
well, we've got a minibus, but that's another matter. We've had to change our minibus. We booked it for the Saturday initially, but now we've got a Sunday. It doesn't open on Sunday, so they've got to charge us for 2 days, so we're going to have it for 2 days instead of one. I just still can't believe we're in this FA Cup semi-final. I just cannot believe it. Yeah. No, it's...
This last week has been... I mean, my wife's been in hospital, but she's home now and everything's great. But I just think...
confirmation.
I just can't... It's just been such a great week if you're a COF fan. It's been absolutely marvellous.
Yeah, I mean... Obviously, Chris, you hoping to get a ticket? You should have a ticket, shouldn't you?
I should be guaranteed one with my points. If not, I'll probably be on the forum complaining about the point system again. But no, on a serious no, I should be all right for a ticket, no problem at all. I haven't actually booked a coach yet because I don't get paid till tomorrow, so that's been a bit of a you're watching coaches sell out and you're thinking, oh crap. I'm going to be all right here, but I should be. I should find a seat somewhere. Worst case scenario, I'll just have to drive when I. But,
we don't know the ticket allocation yet. I mean, there's all sorts of rumours.
Lots of different ones flying. To be honest, I am going to bring this up because I always go on about like some fans having an elitist attitude. So some of the comments I have seen around the semi-final, you've now got the Premier League. Some of the Premier League. I forget what membership they call it. The
golden ticket.
The golden ticket.
The £500.
Careful, Chris. I got one of these.
I've got one as well.
Hey, look.
Give it to him. Give it to him, Chris.
I think
it's just like they're saying that some of them, not all of them. So I'm going to really stress that point first. Are saying, well, we should get 2 tickets each allocation, and then everyone else should get 1. And you're thinking like you're gonna get a free season ticket if you get to the Premier League, which is fair enough. You have took the risk, you're getting your points. And some of these, I just think, how much more leverage do you want with these ticket situations? At some point, it's gotta stop. Like, you've got your points, we're doing well. 1 ticket enough should suffice for everyone. And then allow more to go to general sale or down the points list to give people further down a chance rather than people at the top of the pile trying to sort mates out. And I say this as someone like last year, I took my wife. It would mean not being able to take my wife this year. So I have already had that discussion with her. But I think one season ticket holder would be fair because that way everyone's guaranteed one. And then a lot more will probably end up being able to go who couldn't actually go to the playoff final last year because it was 2 per season ticket holder.
Yeah.
I just, I think that's enough.
Okay.
Well, you got no chance because there's 19,500 season ticket holders. We're getting 34,000. Everybody gets a ticket if you're a season ticket holder. That still leaves 14,500 tickets swimming around.
There was 3,500 golden ticket holders. What we call
Well, it's 5,000, but it's just a season ticket. That's all it is, Ken. It's nothing special. You just bought a £500 season ticket. There's still some people in the same block have bought one for £490.
Yes.
So it's just a season ticket at the end of the day. And if we get promoted, you're getting a free one next year. So
that's your offer. That's your bonus for taking that risk, and you deserve that because you've done that and you've committed to that for the next 5 years. Completely agree with that. But I think when you start going down the route of doing things like this, of extra tickets to Wembley, if they'd said that at the time when they released the membership, I'd be like, fair enough, because you've said it. It's a benefit at that point. But if they were to do that now, you 3,500 can have 2 tickets and everyone else can have 1. That's, to me, would be the club telling me that 3,500, their support is more important to the club than my support.
Yeah. I'll see.
I'll be amazed if they give extra tickets to the 5,000 who bought the.
I'm going to probably upset you now a little bit because I've heard that is what is going to happen. I've heard that from somebody. I don't know whether that's not confirmed, but I've heard that from somebody quite high up, or somebody who knows somebody who was in the club. They're not always been right. They've been wrong on occasions. So
I think they're wrong this time.
But I think what I've been told is that the £500 season ticket holders, if you like, will get 2 tickets. The normal season ticket holders will get 1, and then it will go down to 1,500 points, I believe, and then 1,000 points, and then down to 800 points with whatever's left. That's what I've been told. Now, whether I can't confirm that because that hasn't been confirmed by anybody.
Can I just say, if you've got 800 points, you've got a season ticket.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're going to work the points thing out. I don't know.
Last year, we had 2 per season ticket because you had 14,000 season tickets. That left about 8,000 spare, and then it went the next day to 100 points. It went straight down to 100 points.
Yeah,
I'll be amazed, Ken, if they do.
Well, I would be surprised. That's what I was quite surprised when this person told me that, and I thought, oh, well, okay, I didn't know. But that's what I heard.
I think there are certain sections that, maybe when they're doing these, they do focus groups and things like that. I think maybe the wrong type of fan are in the wrong years. And I think that's what I think. The point system, in theory, for me, does work. My issue is and will always be with how they implemented it and how they backdated it and where they decided to stop the backdating. They should have gone back further, in my opinion, if they were going to backdate at all or start it from scratch. It shouldn't have just been, you come to Birmingham, so here's your massive benefit over everyone else. There were people following that team, home and away, in League Two, at the Rico, averaging crowds of, 6,000, but somehow, because for whatever reason, the decision was made to not go to Birmingham, things are going to be made more difficult for us now. They're somehow better supporters than others, and I thought, to me, that was the wrong message to be sent out.
It's a tough one, Chris, and I don't think you're ever going to please everyone with something like this. It's exactly like with Leicester away first game of the season. As much as Wembley, a point system's never going to please everyone. You've got to do your best to and if we do go to the Premier League, and if we are going to sell out away games before it gets to 1,100 tickets on a regular basis, well, the system will have to change eventually because we can't keep doing it the way we are. I'd like to think with 34,000 Wembley tickets that everyone that genuinely has been and regularly attended matches over the last 2 or 3 years will get a ticket, and there won't be those. All right, it might be a sweat for some people who haven't been much over the last year, but with getting to Wembley last year, didn't everyone wise up a little bit and think, I need to make sure I get some points, not buy cash on the day and make sure I get 2 or 3 games to get points. So I would like to think that everyone that was there last year, or everyone that's been to regular games will get a ticket. All right, it'll be harder for some. I'm a Premier. I'd love it if I get 2 for my Premier season ticket, and it will go. My second one would go to a very genuine fan. Do I expect it? No, 100% not. Do I think they should do it? Probably not. The risk was getting in the Premier League. Who thought we were ever going to get an FA Cup semi-final? And, you're talking about the date of the game. I've got work on the Saturday. I book all my work around Coventry City games. I take cocktail bars into people's houses. I had some. Who thought I ever would have had to look at an FA Cup semi-final? And where did a Sunday come from? No one had even mentioned it being a Sunday. It's so obvious that it should be a Saturday.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre, and I was very shocked when it said Sunday. Well, it was the police who made the decision, and we don't know. But they said it was the police who have changed the kick-off time. They said it was a high-risk game, which I find very bizarre. That excuse was very strange for me.
You'd like to be privy to these meetings, wouldn't you? I think the London Marathon, they talked about Chelsea fans coming across London rather than, but where are Man United fans coming from? Are they not mostly coming from London? Or where we?
Well,
those days changed.
It boggles my mind how they've arrived at the decision as well. When you think about Man City's fixture list, I believe they've got Real Madrid on the Tuesday before and then the Wednesday afterwards. Then with us then playing on the Tuesday, you're thinking...
Is it not on the Wednesday? Sorry, I think...
Yeah, I think the first leg... I thought the first leg was a Tuesday before.
Oh, no, you're right.
The second leg was a Wednesday. I could be wrong on that, but I don't know why I thought that was it, but I'm pretty sure...
Man City playing on the Tuesday and us playing on the...
It seemed to make more sense to me for our semi-final from a fixture point of view to be on the Saturday. And
I think Man City is the Wednesday, which makes it more strange that they're playing Wednesday, Saturday. I might be wrong. I thought it was Man City played on the Wednesday, we play on the Tuesday, so it seemed very obvious from a football point of view that we should play on the Saturday and they should play on the Sunday. But maybe Pep didn't see it that way, and he put his call in late to the FA to say when he wanted to play.
Yeah.
I've got some comments about this.
Yeah.
I agree with this one because only because I have. Paul Thomas says it should be based on who attended the previous cup games and season ticket holders and general sale. I think me and Ken have done all of them, haven't we? On the replay.
Yeah, it did before. You used to have to collect your stubs or keep your stubs for your tickets, didn't you?
Yeah, they got a record. I mean, they could do that.
Yeah, they've got a record. Yeah.
Rob Nichols, do you think the club will move the whole game to Wednesday? They could do.
I've got an opinion on this. Yes, Coventry should move the whole game to a Wednesday, but why should Hull agree to that? We had the chance to move it to Wednesday, and Hull aren't going to want to move anything for us. They'll now be telling their fans that the game's moving for the third time. At no fault of their own. Should we not have thought about this when we were in a quarter final and looking when the semi final would be, or were the club not that confident? It seems very strange that they arranged it for a Tuesday when very possibly we were in the FA Cup semi final on a Sunday, which has happened.
What might change it is if Sky turn around and say you want to televise it, and they might say we want to show it on a Wednesday. Then I think I've heard this. I think they mentioned it before. When we get asked to have a game, I think I was listening to the Peterborough chairman. They moved a game recently to another night because Sky said, we'll show it live. And they basically says, what do you do? Do you say no or do you say yes and take the 60,000, whatever they're going to get? And that's what will happen. If Sky turns around and says, we'll show it live, they're going to give money to the clubs, aren't they? No one's going to turn down money.
But Hull aren't going to do us any favours. This could be 6th versus v 7th or 6th v 8th, or certainly 2 teams that are going for the playoffs. A very important game in the playoff shape.
And considering this game could go to extra time and penalties, couldn't it? So it could be a long day.
I've done in 90 minutes, 3-0.
Oh, we hope.
The question: Should the club? Yes, we should try.
Yeah, this is from Mostly Lover Music. I need to chat to Mostly Lover Music. I wish you'd contact me. I want to talk to you about something.
There you go.
I know. Please contact me. It's about the stuff he does on YouTube. I love it. If you're against the new kit flag, then I suppose you're against taking the knee at the matches. They are both political actions in solidarity with different slices of the fan base. Now, me personally, it's not against the symbol. It's the fact they've done it on the St. George. I think if you'd done anywhere else on the kit, on the shorts, or anywhere else on the sleeves, you wouldn't get a reaction.
But is it in solidarity with everyone? The Nike's post just said it was a playful change on the St George's. They didn't say it was in solidarity. And this is where there's a bit of confusion why they've done it, because it's not like they've said, "Oh, we're doing this to support LGBT."
When it was first released, didn't the press release say it was to promote exclusivity and?
Do you think sometimes there's a bit of mischievous going on with the media then, trying to spin something?
Possibly.
It could be, you see, and they knew they'd get a reaction. Let's face it, they knew they'd get a reaction.
But to go back to that comment there, when I said all political things, I meant all from everywhere. So that's not to mean that I'm against them. What I'm saying is, it's just when it gets put into a forum like football, for me, it tends to be more divisive than sometimes.
What about wearing a poppy then, Chris? Or is that a bigger can of worms that needs another discussion?
Well, to be honest, I'm not against the poppy. I wear one myself.
I meant on an international football shirt. I didn't mean for people. We wouldn't see it as anything offensive, but other people might. And other people would argue that's a political message. So you can go very deep with this, can't you?
Yeah, you can do. And I think it would depend on who the country we were facing. I think we'd have to be a bit sensitive towards it.
I've got to say, FIFA are normally hot on this, and UEFA, aren't they? I'm surprised.
Normally they step in, don't they?
Yeah. So
they've banned it, haven't they, on the England shirt? We can't, even if England wanted to, they can't have the poppy on during matches.
No, but any other symbols? So they obviously must have sold it to FIFA or UEFA, as what Lee was saying.
I think we flat out refused. I think when we've been they've tried to ban us putting the poppy on. I think we've said no, we're wearing it, and sort of defied it, and never really had any sanctions against it, because it is, there's so many people in agreement. I think if you ask, should we have a poppy on an England shirt for an England game around Remembrance Day, 99.9% of the country say yes. So, and it's not like taking the knee, for example, where you might be more like 60-40 and causing a bit of a divide.
I can understand why a poppy on a shirt could be seen as a political statement, but if it is for a minute's silence for the veterans, for national remembrance, is that really political? I don't view that as political myself. We
got a bit deep, didn't we? Probably move on, Chloe.
Yeah. Trevor Merriman, Premier season ticket holder here, should definitely be one per person. Got Rob Nichols, I've booked the Willstone parking. You need a ticket now, but I'm a season ticket holder, so I should be okay. You'll be fine. Paul Thomas, I've done that one. We've got Rob Nichols, do you think the club will move the whole game to Wednesday? Well, we don't know, do we? All Liverpool and Man United fixtures are classed as high risk. That's Matt. Okay.
So with Liverpool and Man United fixtures being classed as high risk, so why are they allowing them to play in London on the same day? That seems even more ludicrous.
That was crazy. When I checked the fixing, I seen Liverpool playing Fulham. I thought, hold on.
You've got them coming down on similar routes and all being in the capital at the same time.
All at the same service stations on the way back.
Work that one out.
And we've got Lee Beckett. Poppy isn't a political message. It's to remember the fallen during the war.
I get that. I was playing devil's advocate.
A poppy isn't political, from Trevor Merriman. What's interesting, obviously, it was because of the First World War and Armistice Day and all the rest of it. In Germany, I think if Jan's still watching, I'm sure it's the start of Carnival on the 11th of November. That's what my wife tells me. It's their Carnival week. And it's a kind of bit of an ironic, isn't it, really? But anyway, that's by the by. That's I don't think I was meant to be, that's just how it is. And Neil Jacks, the new kit is not political action. Objected to changing some country's flag is not connected in taking the knee at all. Right.
I just think this from Gibbo, great discussion, chaps. So
cheers.
Yeah, thank you, Gibbo. Thank you very much.
I mean, basically, it's a platform for people to air their views, isn't it? That's what we're trying to do here. And as we've found out with me and Ken doing the BC radio, you have to have a debate.
Yeah.
You can't be seen to be having just one view, and that's what we're trying to do here, basically.
I didn't give my views, by the way. I just gave Chris a little bit of rope.
Oh, go on. You give your view then.
Are you travelling down to Wembley then, Lee? How are you coming down? Are you driving down?
Yeah, I've got my train booked. So the morning when the rumours started circulating that it was going to be a Sunday, because trains had gone up to about 40 or 50 quid for the Saturday.
Well, that's another thing with the trains. So didn't they leave a load of fans stranded last time?
My dad had to sleep in Euston Station for the last game. The last train got cancelled, I think.
Yeah, they just cancelled, put a bus service on, didn't they?
Yeah, it was, and who can trust a train at the moment? So I think a lot of people have avoided trains and said they're going to get coaches this time. But as soon as rumours started circulating, I got on. They were a bit cheaper on the Sunday, so I took a bit of a risk and have got it. But I haven't booked my return yet. I might stay down for the night.
Genuinely shocked they're not striking, to be honest. They usually do for these big occasions, don't they?
Yeah, well, that surprised me because they normally do. Yeah, you're right there. But I do remember last year when a few of my friends got stranded at the at Wembley at the station. They couldn't get back, and then they got put on buses and stuff because they cancelled all trains, bizarrely. But there you go. That's Network Rail for you, if you like. But there you go. How's the competition doing then, Claudia? Have we got quite a few entries? Or...
Six so far.
Correct. 6 correct entries.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 correct. Yeah. Okay. Do you want a number all then? Just put a number by them all. Yeah.
Right. I've written down in orders, but I'll mix the numbers up.
And then we'll get Lee to just select a number. Simple as that.
Are you ready for that now? Are you, or are we?
Can we leave it going for a little bit longer?
Yeah,
what was the question again, Lee? In case
so Noel Whelan made his home debut and scored in a 2-1 win against which club?
And that's to win 2 tickets for the Noel Whelan event next month at the Tavern. Noel Whelan has to win to meet Noel Whelan, get a picture and everything with him, and they've got a comedian and everything on, so it should be a very good night. That's on the Friday night. That's the Friday before we play Leeds, isn't it? On the Saturday.
And we play Leeds the day after. So it was another one. We had to wait till about 2 weeks before to see if TV messed with it. But for once, it is a Saturday 3 p.m. game, if anyone remembers what they're like.
That's not amazing, isn't it?
Well, that's another thing that I believe the Ipswich game's been moved. That's a live TV game now, apparently. Isn't
it's 30th of April now, isn't it? So
on a Tuesday night, is it?
Yeah.
A Tuesday night. So
we're trying to arrange things at home, and my wife says she does it around the games we're playing, and like she said, I'll tell you what, I don't know what days we're playing on now. It's got to the point where it feels like all the fixtures are getting mixed up. I said, I need to check. So I haven't got a clue.
I just tell my wife to count me out of anything to the second week in May.
Because she says we're going to see. She said we're going to see my mum in the Easter week. I went, hold on a minute, I need to check our fixtures here. I'm just. But when we played Cardiff, I got a friend. We stayed in a cottage sort of holiday place in Wales a couple of years running, and Gareth he's actually a Liverpool fan, but his son's a big Cardiff City fan. He's got season ticket, everything. And the flag I got behind me, I got one made for him with the Cardiff City, with the dragon on and all the rest of it, and the old badges. And he's coming to the game on the 1st. So, but I've told him to come to my house and I'll take him to the ground, basically. He was asking where to park, what to do. I said, tell you what, drive to me and go with me, and I'll sort it for you. Hopefully he'll go home miserable. But
hopefully.
Yeah, I've not got a very good track record of bringing my mates to games who aren't Cov fans. So QPR the other year we lost, I think 2 or 3 years ago, we lost, I think 2-1. I think when Shipper scored that wonder goal with the left foot.
Yeah, then we lost.
We lost 2-1. Bournemouth, when we lost them at home, I could name loads. I'm thinking, every time I bring a mate,
don't bring him.
So I might have to drop him off at the bottom of the Foswell Road and tell him to walk the rest of the way.
Don't anyone seeing you getting out of my car.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll miss Casey Palmer in the semi-final because he's
Good question.
bizarre booking? I wasn't aware of it obviously at the time until it came up afterwards. I remember him running on the pitch, but I wasn't aware of the rules and regulations. But now we understand it's 2 yellows in the FA Cup, isn't it? But if it was a red card, he would have got an immediate suspension. Is that right?
Casey Palmer in current form, definitely.
No, well, no, hold on, because Ahmad, who got sent off against Liverpool, his was a second yellow. That wasn't a straight red, and he's
but it amounted to a red. Therefore, it's an automatic.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Ban, but it's not in the FA Cup. It's the next game. So I find it bizarre for the rules for the yellow cards to be just the FA Cup.
Yeah,
it's very strange, isn't it?
I think Casey, in current form, we'll miss him, won't we? Basically,
we will miss him.
So let's hopefully we'll put some performances in up to the semi-final. That's all we can ask, aren't we?
I think where I feel really gutted for him is he wasn't really able to contribute in the playoff final either. I know he had that 10, 15, 20-minute cameo because obviously Hamer had to come off injured, but he wasn't fit at all. You could see that. So you really thought he might have been able to have a good go this time, and it's just really unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and the cut-off is the quarter-final. That's the last time he would have been able, wouldn't have counted after that anyway, bizarrely.
I think what makes it worse as well is he was already off the pitch. He'd been substituted. He was off.
Yeah.
Had it happened in the other corner, he wouldn't have got a yellow card, would he?
Because we'd have been all over that.
He was down the touchline, yeah.
Yeah, it's because he ran across the pitch, basically.
I've just got this vision of him now running like right round instead of having to get there to try and celebrate.
Well, I couldn't believe it when I seen him on the pitch. I thought he was number 45. I thought it was Casey Palmer on the pitch. Where did he come from? He's been substituted.
Referees have got to play these things by the rule, but the ref, could he have turned a blind eye to it? How's he even spotted it? I mean, he just looked like a player, didn't he? So the ref, they missed so much, and how they noticed someone in full kit, knee sliding, and realised that he wasn't on the pitch. I mean...
Well, probably the fourth officials probably pointed it out to him, but that's probably what...
I mean, will we miss him? I mean, obviously, we've got a ready-made replacement, haven't we, for the O'Hare will come in, but that then means we haven't got. That gives us one option less off the bench, doesn't it? If the game does go deep, or if we do need to change tactics, so definitely a big miss.
Yeah, a few more comments just come in. Trevor, Coventry, Man United, Liverpool fans, and the marathon runners trying to get back home by train would be an absolute nightmare. Quite agree with that. Rob Nichols, I'll avoid the trains. I don't trust them. Last year, me and my brother-in-law drove down, but we came back with a full car due to Chiltern trains to Barkle. Craig Saddam, gutted for Casey. Shocking around yellow and red cards in the FA Cup, says Lee Beckett. Casey will have to wait until the final, says Craig. Yeah, they'll have to win it for him. Simple as that. Ian Pym, not a bizarre booking, bizarre punishment for Casey. Yeah, I quite agree with that. It's very bizarre punishment. I mean, why didn't they just let him miss the next league game? It's stupid.
Rules is rules.
Yeah. Shows how much he loves it here, says Craig. Palmer is so much stronger on the ball. Rob Nichols says, where is Thorpe going to fit into the team at the moment? Well, that's interesting because I think I'd like to see Thorpe and Ben Sheaf together, wouldn't you? So I think that'd be fantastic midfield.
Definitely, but it's a squad, isn't it? That's what we're aiming for as a club, aren't we? And there will be rotation at some point, obviously. But I think for me, Thorpe and Sheaf is long term. Let's just hope Sheaf doesn't. Ben doesn't shine too much that all summer there's going to be speculation that he could be off, even though he's signed a 3 or 4 year contract.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does, mate. Even when there is none in the papers and that, you'll get like on the forum, some of our fans, it's almost like they're trying to pimp our player out and sell him themselves. Like, just give it a rest.
Yeah. I definitely not. I mean, I think Thorpe's going to be a great player for us. I really do. I think him and Sheaf in the middle of the park will be fantastic for us. It'll be once they're both fully fit, I think.
I went out on Friday night and bumped into a load of old mates of mine who don't support Cov but watched it, and they were all raving about our performance. And a couple of guys were saying, "I didn't realise you played so well." They support Premier League teams basically.
Yeah.
Said, is that how you normally play? I says, well, there has been those levels of performances, but that's probably the best I've seen as a complete performance from start to finish. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I said, and they were impressed, and they were pointing out certain players. I said, yeah, well, that's what you get in the Championship. I said, we're not even the best team in the Championship. I said, it's a better league than it should be given credit for, basically. And, and on their day, any Championship side can put out a good performance against, well, as we've proved it, they're top 8, aren't they, Wolves?
Yeah, top 8, yeah.
They're no mugs. They're a good outfit.
They beat Man City this year, haven't they, at home?
They're a good outfit. And that's what was wonderful in the end. I mean, the emotion of last week where we went 2-1 down, I just couldn't believe it after we played so well.
I watched them goals over and over again, I have, all week.
Oh, it's goosebumps every time, isn't it? And
have you seen the one on, I think, on Facebook with all the different commentaries on it?
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
I made the comment on social media about the Argentina one where he's using his chanting to the Gary Glitter song. I said, I don't think we should be doing that one. That's a no-no, isn't it? But no, I just thought with Clive's commentary as well, he listened to the passion.
Yes, brilliant.
Yeah, it was just like how we all felt in the ground. It was just one, and even now getting goosebumps thinking about it. It's such a great performance and well deserved. I just hope that's got to give us the confidence now for the remaining games of the season, surely.
Yeah, my biggest worry is injuries. Obviously, long we don't get, because we are a little bit a bit bare, aren't we? If we get a couple of injuries, we ain't got many players that we can come in and replace. So hopefully, we will stay clear of injuries and with the league and the cup.
I mean, how do we approach the games now? Then we got Huddersfield coming up, which is a tricky game. They're desperate for points. They're going to be up and at us basically. So how do we deal with that?
Well, they've got to play. The players should be playing for the shirt, shouldn't they? Really, they've got a semi-final coming up. They want to be in that team, so they've got to prove a point. Simple as that. So they've got to put in the best performance. That's what if I was a player, that's the way I'd look at it.
And I'm pretty sure every player wants to play every single game and prove the point and win every game and get as many minutes as they can. It's disappointing to think if there's any different. I'll play every 3 days, no problem.
Yeah, well, that's it. Sometimes you got to do that. It'll be tough. It'll be tough because we've got a lot of games crammed in now, haven't we? So
yeah,
but avoiding injuries is key, especially to a couple of key players.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We get, the last thing we want is like someone like Ben Chief going down injured again, and even Sims or Hadji Wright.
Have we got a game midweek before the semi-final? Obviously, I know we have after, as we just talked about. Have we got a game midweek the week before?
No, just Birmingham the week before.
Yeah, it's Birmingham on the Saturday, the 13th.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so you'd like to think that might help preparations for the semi-final, getting that full week off there. That'll probably be the last one of the season, surely. Last full week off to prepare for a game.
Yeah.
I just think all the players will be absolutely up for the challenge that lies ahead, and they'll want it. You have concerns about the depth. We do always seem to be one injury away from catastrophe.
Yeah.
But you can't play in fear of injury. You've just got to go out there and play and just give it everything.
Can you imagine what the CBS would be like if it was a home game on Friday? That's what I'm gutted about.
Yeah, it'd been the other way around. It'd been nice.
It's been such an atmosphere after what's happened. I was just reading some more comments.
Yeah.
Got one from Graham Cockrell. Claudio, will you be taking your flag to Wembley?
I'm sure you will, won't you?
Well, we got 2 of these flags, and they both went for the play. We took them to the playoff final, and because I was sat just above the royal box, we had them. You can see them on telly. They're hanging over the front.
Oh, you by the royal box, were you? That's very posh.
Yeah, trust me, the tickets weren't that expensive, but as soon as they went online, that's what I'm fighting for. On when they announce when they're selling the tickets, I want to try and get the same seats. It's cracking view, and you sat and you got the black flag thing where they put down the separators. You're right next to the other fans. You see,
you should borrow Dave Kay's tent and camp out from Claudio.
So it was quite funny because obviously Luton fans thought they'd scored the winner, didn't they, right at the death, and it was disallowed. And they're all giving it the big one. We're right taking it full on because we're right next to them. And of course it was disallowed, so we just give it back, you know. And of course, we all know what happened after that. But it's a great place to sit if you win.
Not so good if you lose.
Hector, play the best team we can every game and see what happens. I think you're right, Hector. Craig Robinson, lots of rumours about Gyökeres going to a Prem club this season. A lot of scouts watching him. Kaching for Sky Blues. Let's get Hamer back from Sheffield. If Sheffield United drop. And here's one from Paul Thomas. Definitely wrong, guys. A booking is a booking. What does the colour of the car change things?
Yeah, should be the same rules.
And the thing I know people have said about the player who should know the rules and look of the competition, but there's three competitions. They've probably got different rules, haven't they? I mean, it should just be simple.
Yeah, and I think the emotion of the day is obviously got the better of it as well.
I mean, would he remember he got booked earlier on? Probably not. And if you remember, he got booked at Sheffield Wednesday when he was getting heaps off Barry Bannon in the game where he,
It does feel like at times, sometimes these rules are invented and created by these associations, and to sometimes try and take emotion out of the game. You know, I mean, look at those scenes when that third goal went in. I just don't look. I'd get its rules, and by the book, he should have been booked. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been, but when you give rules that are in place like now, you run the risk of taking emotion out of the game.
I mean, also
a booking's a booking, but it's just the fact that it's very similar that's happened in two different games and a very different punishment. They're both in the same competition. They're both 2 yellow cards. One's resulted in a red. One was 3 games ago. Yet we lose a player for a semi-final. They don't. Not like it's a critical player for them. But you're right. It's a yellow card, but the punishment should have been the same for them. Yeah. And you're right when you say about emotion, Chris. Taking your shirt off. Sometimes I don't understand why a player does it. They know they're getting booked. But what's it doing really? Why does it need to be a booking?
Who's it harming? Why is it a booking? I think they never will, because it would mean admitting that they were wrong when they bring these rules in. Sometimes I think they just try and bring too many rules in, bring too many changes in for change's sake, and sometimes the game doesn't need this much change. It was fine the way it was.
The rule for the bookings after the certain part of a competition was because it's mainly during the World Cups and the Euros where they were losing too many of the top teams are losing too many top players getting into the last 2 games. So you're getting countries, say like Brazil, would have like, I don't know, 3 top players missing because they've all been booked. And of course, as a spectacle, that's not what FIFA wanted. You know, so they scrapped the bookings basically, and it's like a clean slate.
Well, let's face it, you get a booking for absolutely everything in football now. So if you've got a 5-game tournament, it's very likely that most of your players are going to pick up 2 bookings, isn't it? Because they just come along so easily.
Let's face it. I mean, Gary Lineker never got a booking in his whole career. He'd have got one for doing what he did on the pitch, didn't he?
Pooing himself.
Exactly. and surely that's a booking if you wipe it on the grass.
Set him off.
Right, okay. Let's just remind you of a couple of things that's going on. Statue appeal. That's how you donate for the George and John statue appeal. Fantastic appeal. There are all the details. If you can, anything as little as a £5 will do. Let's get that appeal up to the money. I believe it's raising quite high now. I'm not sure the exact amount, but it is going up quite a lot now. So that's the details you need to do. If you set the account numbers, etc., you need to send your money to. Also, Jack, who comes on our show a few times, he's doing an MMA fight in Coventry on Friday the 16th of February. And get your tickets from altertickets.co.uk for that one. It's actually on Saturday 13th of April. That's when it's taking place. The tickets are on sale now, so get from altertickets.co.uk on that one. And of course, the Noel Whelan event on Friday the 5th of April, where Lee's been telling us all about. And we've got 2 tickets we're just about to give away for this event. It's raising money for good charity as well. You've got a comedian as well on that event. So get yourself down there on that Friday night. We're hoping to be down there from 7 o'clock. It should be a great night. Okay, Claudio, have we got the competition details ready?
We have the comedian on, actually. I went to one of his comedy nights.
Yeah.
At
He is a
Borsal Common.
Commentary season ticket holder as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, and he did a comedy night at Borsal Common, £12 a ticket. It was incredible. That's 4 brilliant comedians, like proper comedians, not like amateurs. These are, really, really good. Anyway.
That's good.
So,
Okay, we've got 2 tickets for this event to give away, which Lee's kindly donated. We've got how many entries, Claudia?
I've got 8 correct answers.
Number 1, correct answers 8. So a number then, Lee, from 1 to 8, please.
So we can reveal the answer now, I guess, can we?
Yes, Bob, tell the answer.
Noel Whelan scored on his home debut, which was against Everton.
Yeah.
I watched the highlights of that game. He must have had about 10 chances before he scored, but he got one eventually, the winner, 2-1 win. And you've got all the numbers there, Claudio. You've put them in a completely random order, I believe.
Yeah.
So as I was a goalkeeper, what number was we? He was number 14, wasn't he? So we can't have him. Did he end up number 8?
Number 8, I think he had.
He was number 8, yeah. That was
no, we'll go whoever you've put a number 8 next to.
Right. It's Neil Jacks. Or Jakes. Or Jack is the one he said it's not as posh as I say it is.
Neil Jacks or Neil Jakes, you are the winner. Congratulations. We've got for you for the event. If you want to email your details to skybluefanstv@gmail.com, we'll get the details and then we'll arrange with Lee with the tickets for the event. It should be a great night. So congratulations.
He's got me on Facebook, Neil has. So.
Oh, is he? Okay, then that's fair enough. So he can contact you and get your details off you, and then we can sort out the tickets. Lee, thanks very much for coming on, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Anytime.
You enjoyed it?
Loved it, yeah. Yeah, really enjoyed it, yeah.
Been a good discussion. I mean, we've been on for like an hour and a half, so it's time's gone very quick. It does go quick.
Considering we got no game, we've done pretty well.
Well, yeah, we've plenty to discuss. Yeah, exactly. We're normally rabbiting on about the match, but we haven't had a game to talk about, so we've done well considering that. Chris Baker, thanks very much for coming on again.
Thank you very much for having me, Ken. I love coming on.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And Claudio, as always, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
And thanks very much for everybody who sent messages in and entered the competition, and all the viewers. Obviously, without you, we wouldn't have a channel. So keep viewing. We had quite a lot of viewers tonight. I noticed it going up every week. So we are getting more popular. So let's hope our next game is 3 points in the bag away at Huddersfield on Friday, followed by Cardiff at home on the Monday. So we're looking for 6 points, aren't we, lads? Really?
Hopefully.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And we got to keep up with the pace. We can't afford to drop any points because teams like Norwich and that around us are picking them up, aren't they? So we can't afford to drop any at this stage, and they are winnable games. Okay, they're going to be hard, but they are winnable games. So we've got to really be looking at maximum 6 points for the next 2 games. We're back on live on Thursday night. Miles will be back on Thursday night with all his usual malarkey and spot the ball, etc., etc. And then I'll be off to Huddersfield on Friday. So hopefully we can get 3 points. So we'll leave you with a big play up Sky Blues, everybody.
Play up Sky Blues.
And okay, thanks for joining us, everybody, tonight, and appreciate it, Lee, Chris, and Claudio. And we'll see you again soon. Good night.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.